Hey guys, so today we've got our official 2022 NFL mock draft. So the draft is just over a week away. So I'm going to be doing my one and only full first round mock draft here using Draft Network's mock draft machine here. So starting off at number one, we have the Jacksonville Jaguars. And there have been reports as of late that their GM is kind of leaning towards Travon Walker. So I think that is still in play, but I think ultimately they're going to go with the best player in the draft. Best edge rusher in Aidan Hutchinson. And Travon Walker probably has the best upside in the class, but I think Aidan Hutchinson already projects as an elite edge rusher day one, and also still will get better. And if you've been drawing comparisons to guys like Joey Bosa, he has potential to be an all-pro edge rusher, one of the best in the league. Travon Walker is very much projectable, and he needs to be coached up. But I just think Aidan Hutchinson, Travon Walker's upside is not really worth it take at one. He's a risk, he's a gamble, and I think overall, even if he reaches his upside, it won't be that much better than Aidan Hutchinson where it's worth the risk. Now at number two, we have the Detroit Lions, and there's been talks about them taking Malik Willis at number two. I just don't really see it happening. Malik Willis is not a good quarterback enough that it's worth it. They have Jared Goff, who he can sit behind, and they have enough weapons. They have guys like Amon-Ra St. Brown. They brought in DJ Chark, and then of course they have DeAndre Swift at running back, TJ Hawkinson. But at the end of the day, for a guy like Willis, who wouldn't have even gone in the first round he wouldn't have even been in the discussion to be a first round pick last year, I think. I just don't really see it worth it. I think it's a big reach at number two to get Malik Willis. So I think they're going to probably, go edge here, and I think that they can either go Kayvon Thibodeaux or Travon Walker. Kayvon Thibodeaux is the guy I would go here at two. I think his upside is, although not quite as high as Walker, it's pretty close, and I think he's much more NFL ready today, much safer, and he still has all the tools and has great potential and can be an all-world player in the NFL. However, I think they are probably going to lean towards Travon Walker. He's kind of gained a lot more traction over Kayvon Thibodeaux as of late, so even though I like Thibodeaux more, I think they're going to go with Walker here at two. Next up, we have the Houston Texans at three, and I think there's a lot they can address here. Their team's completely bare bones. As you can see, look at their needs: edge, cornerback, safety, tackle. So we're looking at Evan Neal, Ikem, Ekwonu, Kayvon Thibodeaux, Sauce Gardne, Hamilton, maybe even Jermaine Johnson's in play. I don't really see it though. And they could even take Stingley. I mean, they have been, I think, considering taking the quarterback, with Stingley being among them, with Stingley and Ahmed Gardne. So Stingley is kind of still up there with Gardne, although I think Gardne is CB1 in this class. So I think they're actually going to go with tackle here and take Evan Neal. They could go Ikem Ekwonu. He's been ahead of Neal a lot recently. He's gone up a lot. Neal hasn't necessarily fell a ton. I think just a lot of other guys like Ikem Ekwonu have really risen recently. But I think they still go with Evan Neal here. You can't go wrong with either Neal or Ikem Ekwonu. Really, I think those are kind of interchangeable here. As we've been talking, Ikem Ekwonu has potentially more upside than Neal, but Neal is probably better day one, and I think he's an absolute monster. He's massive, and he can be one of the best tackles in the NFL. So coming in at number four now, we have the New York Jets, and they have been linked with Kayvon Thibodeaux. Their meeting with him went really, really well, apparently. But I think they could also go Sauce Gardne here. Stingley, I think, is still in play, but I think they are going to prefer Gardne at the cornerback position, and then Garrett Wilson. I think those are kind of three I would really look at here. I think Ikem Ekwonu also at 4 is definitely still in play to protect Zach Wilson. But it does kind of look like they do want to get a real weapon for him. Garrett Wilson, amazing route runner, best route runner in the class, and I think he's probably the best receiver in the class. Drake London and Jameson Williams are really good though as well. So I think it's going to be close here. They can probably get, actually, because they can get a wide receiver of 10, but Wilson, there's a pretty good chance he does go to Atlanta at 8, so I don't know if they're really going to, it's a bit of a reach here, but if any team were to do it, I think the Jets would be the team to kind of reach here at Wilson at 4 to give Zach Wilson that weapon that he really is lacking there with the Jets. Their secondary is also just atrocious though, so they could bring in Gardne and Thibodeaux there. I think they're actually going to address cornerback and go with Sauce Gardne. Really good cover corner there, so I think he can be amazing with the Jets, and they really need help in the secondary, and I think Ahmed Gardne provides that for Robert Saleh's more defensive playbook. Now we have the Giants here at number 5, and I think they're going to just not even think about it, go with Ekwonu. He's the next best tackle in the class. There have been reports the Giants do really like Charles Cross. He's the best pass protector in the class. I just think Ekwonu is better. They're going to ultimately end up picking him at 5. And they could take Thibodeaux here, but I think they're going to go with Ekwonu. I think Carolina is, if Ekwonu falls to 6, I think Carolina is probably going to take him. But I think they're much less likely to take Thibodeaux here. So now Carolina is, I think, in a tough decision. And for me, I think they're going to go with either Charles Cross or Kenny Pickett. They're not going to take Malik Willis if they want a quarterback. He needs at least a year, if not 2. He's not NFL ready, not even close, but he has the tools and the potential to be an elite player. It's a gamble, but this could pay off. I think 6 is high for a big boomer prospect like that. Kenny Pickett, very high floor, low ceiling. He was 5th-year senior last year, put up great numbers with Pittsburgh. So, he's going to be good right off the bat and can be a very average QB. I kind of see him as Mac Jones, but I think less upside. A bit less upside than Mac Jones, but kind of similar. He's a very poised, solid pocket passer. So I think they're going to go with Kenny Pickett here at 6. I mean, I think it's kind of 50-50 here, because I think, they're met with Charles Cross, and I think they really like him, so I think I can definitely see them just going with him at 6 to protect a future QB. But even then, next year's QB free agency class is not great. I mean, they could bring in something like Jimmy G, but I think at the end of the day, you're going to have to give up draft capital for that, and I think they're better off picking Kenny Pickett, who you don't have to pay anything for the next 4 years. I think the salary is going to be the big part of this, and he, I think, instantly probably won't be that much better than Jimmy G, but I think right off the bat can be just as good as him, and maybe I think he can progress a slight bit and become better right off the bat. He's going to have great weapons from DJ Moore. The real quarterback can be insane. Robbie Anderson's also a monster, and Christian McCaffrey is also great, one of the best dual threat running backs we've ever seen. So I think he's going to have great weapons right off the bat, but they're going to need to address a tackle in later rounds. At 7, the Giants, they're seeing Kayvon Thibodeaux here. He's available at 7, they take him. I think this is an ideal draft for them with Ekwonu and Kayvon Thibodeaux. At 8, we have the Falcons, and I think they go with Garrett Wilson here. They need a receiver badly. I mean, I think they could take Malik Willis, but at the end of the day, they don't really have anyone for Malik Willis to stand behind. Mariota really is not it, so I think they're going to pass on a quarterback here and just go with Garrett Wilson, incredible route runner. And then for next year, they're going to have Ridley and Wilson once Ridley comes back in 2023. So next up, we have the Seahawks. I think quarterback can definitely be in play with Malik Willis. I don't think they have enough stability. I don't think Drew Lock is really good enough for them to say, here's a stable QB for Malik Willis to learn behind. So I think they're going to try to get a QB next year. They're going to try to tank, and there's a great QB class. They're going to try to get Bryce Young, CJ Stroud, Ogulale there. And instead, I think Jermaine Johnson definitely in play here. Hamilton, I mean, they have Jamal Adams. They probably won't take him. Charles Cross, so I think this looks really interesting here. And I think they actually are going to go with Charles Cross at 9. At 10, we have the Jets. They take Sauce Gardner at 4. I think they're just going to go with a wide receiver here and take Jameson Williams, great deep threat. He's coming off an injury, still amazing receiver, has potential to be the best receiver in the class, so I think we'll be very happy with this draft. At 11, we have Commanders. I think they could take Willis, but it looks like they don't really want to take QB. Ron Rivera has expressed that he does like Wentz, so they're going to give him a shot, and they think he could potentially be a long-term option. And I think Wentz is really underrated. He's really overhated. He's not great. He's not a top 10 quarterback, but I think he is a pretty average quarterback who puts up some pretty solid numbers. Great touchdown to interception rate. So here we with Commander, they could go receiver for sure. They have Scary Terry as their number 1, and then they have some potential guys got like De'Ami Brown, but I think actually they're going to pass on Drake London, although I think they could definitely do that and take Derek Stingley, a really good corner here, and if he ends up trying to play like in his freshman year, he's going to be absolutely insane. Next up, with the Vikings, and I think we go with Kyle Hamilton. He's dropping. I think he's going to be still a very good box safety. I think he'll end up being the best safety in the league. He can be at that Tyrann Mathieu level for sure, but he has dropped. I think what his numbers were at Combine and at his Pro Day, somewhat concerning, but he's still very speedy on the field and has a ton of potential. Arguably the best player in the class, not taking into account position. At 13, we have the Texans, and the third pick, We took Evan Neal before, so I think they're going to go with Jermaine Johnson. They should be very happy with this pick, taking edge here. He could end up being the best edge rusher in the class. He's still very good, and I think falling to the top 10, they'll be very happy with him at 13. At 14, with the Ravens, and I think they're going to go with, so we have Devontae Wyatt here, and Jordan Davis, two interior defensive linemen, and I think they're actually going to go with Jordan Davis. If he can, I mean, he's losing some weight, but, like, that guy's an absolute freak. It's crazy what he can do. I think he ran like a 4.7 at the combine, and he's massive. I mean, let's look at his profile right now. It's absolutely crazy. He's 6'6", 341, and runs a 4.7. Like, that's insane. He has the potential to be amazing, and with Calais Campbell aging, I think they're going to want to address that defensive tackle position. They could also go with Wyatt, but I think they're going to want to go and bet on the potential of Jordan Davis. At 15, we have the Eagles, and I think wide receivers are a very pressing need for them. Barn deep threat in Devontae Smith. He's elite, but I think they need more. They don't have anything else. J.D. Arcega alongside Jalen Reagor, they're both horrendous, so I think they're going to go with Drake London here. They should be very happy picking him at 15 as a guy who could easily go inside the top 10. At 16, with the Saints, I think quarterback will be in play, although they probably will want to do that at 19 because the Chargers are not really a threat, and same with the Eagles to pick a quarterback at this position. So I think they could go with Corral, maybe even Willis there, but I think at 16, it could go receiver here, although Drake London's gone. Maybe they go with Olave. Offensive tackle, I think I've seen a lot of mock drafts taking Trevor Penning here, and I think that's what I'm going to want to do. You're going to want to protect Jameis. He got LASIK, so maybe he can actually see now. He can actually see his receivers, and you bring extra protection. You lost Teron Armstead, so I think Trevor Penning, he's a very good offensive tackle, and they're not going to pick a quarterback quite yet. At 17, we get the Chargers. They picked Rashawn Slater, great pick. He's a Pro Bowler, absolute steal at 13. So, but they don't have much else on that line. I think they brought in a center, I completely forget his name, but one of the best centers in the league for agency last year. But I think they could also use some help. But looking at offensive tackle, like, still available right now. Yeah, Bernard Raymond, he's good. I mean, I think this is a bit of a reach here at 17, though. Raymond, but yeah, I think they're not going to go with the tackle here, and instead, I think with Trevor Penning gone, they're going to go with Devontae Wyatt in the interior defensive line. At 18, with the Eagles, they took a receiver. Honestly, they could go with Olave, another receiver here. I don't think they really will, though, and I think they're going to go with Trent McDuffie. This is an absolute steal of a pick. A lot of people are really high on him. They could honestly go with him at 15. Although I think they would be concerned with the Saints taking Drake London there at 16, which they probably would if he was. I think they would if he was still available. But they get CB3 in the draft. I mean, I've seen people have him as CB2. He's that good. He's risen up the boards a lot, and I think he's a top 20 pick. This is a great pick for them at 18. At 19 with the Saints, could go quarterback, could go Malik Willis, could go Ritter, could go Corral. There's a lot they could do here. They did pick an offensive tackle. So Olave is still on the board. I don't know if they're really going to go with him, though. I mean, they have Daxton Hill here, great safety. I think they are going to go with Olave. They need a receiver. They're brought in Penning. I think you give all the weapons you can to Jameis. See what he can do. Michael Thomas is also coming back, so see what Jameis can do. And if not, you pick a quarterback next year. I think this is probably a pretty good spot to take Willis for sure as we move into the Steelers, and I think also even. I think they've been linked to Corral as well, who honestly I think is just as good as Willis. He's dropped a lot. He's actually very underrated. He's still very good. And what I see in Corral is he doesn't have quite the upside of Willis, but I think he is safer. He's more pro-ready right now, and I think he's less of a gamble. I think still kind of more of a lower floor, definitely nowhere near Kenny Pickett in terms of how safe he is as a prospect. But honestly, even though he has a lower upside, the reason why teams like Willis, I think they're going to take a chance on a quarterback high. They're going to go for that boomer bust and look at that upside. However, I think Corral is safer, and he has a great arm on him. But we have the Steelers here. I would honestly rather go Kenny Pickett here, keeping that Pittsburgh connection. And they're already a very good team. If they get a quarterback and throw the ball, maybe Chase Claypool can take another step. They've got receivers. I think he has weapons. In their defense, they have Minka and TJ Watt. So, I mean, I think they could go for sure. Try to bring in Pickett, but Pickett is gone here. So, in this mock, if you were, I think I would take him. Malik is interesting. They have Mitch Trubinsky, Money Bitch. is not that. It's not good. He's not a starter, and I don't know if I'd really want Malik Willis um, sitting behind Money Mitch. I think that doesn't provide the stability there, even though the Steelers are one of the most stable franchises in the NFL. Very well-run organization, so even though they aren't in the best position, I think I do trust them with Willis. And it does look like they do really like Malik Willis, so I'm going to have them here at 20. At 21, we have the Patriots, and they definitely do look like they're in the position to take receiver. Now, Olave's gone, but you still have guys like Sky Moore available, Jahan Dotson, Treylon Burks, so still a lot of guys available here. They do need linebacker. I think they're gonna actually. They did lose J.C. Jackson, so I mean Andrew Booth, he's great. He's still available. Carl Loftus, it can be in play here as well. Kenyon Green and Zion Johnson as an interior offensive line. And actually, I think they're gonna want to try to replace J.C. Jackson here and take Andrew Booth. At 22, Packers is a seriously wide receiver. I think it is. You just can't avoid it at this point. You lose Devontae Adams, best receiver in the league. So who does Aaron Rodgers throw to? And I think you want to bring a very good young guy who you can throw the ball to. So looking at Dotson here, I don't know too much about these later guys, but yeah, it says this perimeter boundary receiver. I think we could go with Dotson. Treylon Burks also definitely in play as well. He's also really good. Treylon Burks is pretty big, possession receiver. I think they're actually going to go with Jahan Dotson here, though, at 22. At 23, we have the Cardinals, and there's a few things they can go with. They lost Chandler Jones has gone free agency, so I think they're actually going to go with George Karlaftis. At 24, we have the Cowgirls, and they need an edge for sure. I think they could go receiver. They lost Amari Cooper, bring someone else with them, Michael Gallup and CeeDee Lamb. CeeDee Lamb's great. I think he will probably end up becoming a very good number one. But they also do need safety, and I do like Daxton Hill here, so I'm going to have them take him. 25, the Bills. I don't think they take a running back here. They could take Kenneth Walker, Breece Hall. I just don't think they do it, though. They have Tre'Davious White, but they do need that CB2 locked up. At receiver, obviously that's Stephon Diggs. They lost Cole Beasley. They probably could use another one, so could go Burks. But I think, Kyer Elam's available. I think, this is a tough one. I think they just go with Kyer Elam. Biggest need is cornerback, go with him. 26, we have the Titans. This is interesting because it's Tannehill. I don't know. If Malik Willis is available, I think I would take him here. But he's not. I don't really think the Ritter is worth it because I think Malik Willis could end up turning into a star there. I think the Titans are a perfect situation for him. But he's not. You have Ritter here. I think the Titans could trade up if they really do like Malik. I don't think they're going to go with Ritter here. I'm looking at their needs. I think Devin Lloyd is the pick here. 27 with the Bucks. And I think they need help in the interior offensive line. With Ali Marpet's surprise retirement, they lost Alex Kappa. So I think they go with Zion Johnson. 28, Packers next pick. 30 pick to receiver. Honestly, could go with Treylon Burks here. But I think edge is a need. Boy Maffei's available. Same with Thibodeaux Jocko. I think he will likely drop, although I think he's still probably a first-round prospect. Nakobe Dean, he's a monster. So I think they're actually going to go with Boy Maffei here. High upside pick, and a lot of people are very high on him. Now we have the Chiefs, and they have back-to-back picks here. So here's what I think they're going to do. I think they're going to start off with Sky Moore, great receiver, and I have a feeling they're going to bring him in here. They need a guy for Patrick Mahomes to throw to. Now it's Tyreek Hill. So I think Sky Moore's a pick. I'll know with their next pick. They are going to address safety and pick Louis Sinai here. Daxton Hill's gone, but I think Sinai still is kind of a borderline first-round guy. You need to get a guy to replace Matthew, so replace Tyreek Hill and Matthew. Obviously, neither of them are nowhere near as good, but I think they do kind of fill that position as serviceable young guys. 31 of the Bengals, and I mean Tyler Linderbaum makes perfect sense here. I think you have to go with him. At 32, last one in the draft with the Lions, and I mean they have like so many different needs. They could go with the QB, they could go with Ritter, they could go with Sam Howell, Corral. I don't think they will though. I think you don't have safety available here. I think wide receiver, they could go with Traylon Burks for sure. But actually, I think they're going to, I think Nakobe Dean is another guy, actually, I think go with. I'm going down here. Just Neal completely dropped a lot. Jalen Petra. He's an interesting option here that I think has a lot of potential. Drake Wone as well. I think some people are high on him. Fred McCreary, he could sneak into the first round too. George Pickens, I don't think he will be, but he's good. Mechie had actually some really sneaky, strong stats last year. But I think Lions are actually going to go with Jaquan Brisker here. So here we go. Here's the draft. I'm going to quickly scroll by here. Obviously, most of these are probably going to be wrong. Took some interesting picks here. I think a lot of this is kind of dependent on where, because you have Pickett and Malik. A lot of teams are in the market. You just don't know who's really going to pick him. The previous year, you have teams that need a quarterback. You know they're probably going to take a quarterback, but here there's just no one really good enough that you're going to have. There's going to be teams who will want to be really high on some guys, but you don't really know who those are yet. So here it is. I think I will get a few of these right, but we'll have to see. Super excited for the draft. Hope you enjoyed. Thank you for watching. We'll see you in the next one.